we're being joined at the moment by two gentlemen, Wale Oluwo, the CEO Investment Banking at BGL, and Bismarck Rwani, the CEO of Financial Derivatives. Thank you, gentlemen, for coming on the program.
Thank you, Balaji.
The currency debate is still on, and it may continue to be on until everyone seems to agree that the central bank decision is worth the effort. I'm going to start with Bismarck. I know that you've talked about this a number of times, but recently we saw the economic management team endorsing this move of the central bank. What's your take about that?
First of all, I think we are spending too much time and energy on something which is a non-issue. The question is, what is money? Money is what money can buy, not the currency as such. Okay. Two is that the questions that I hear in the debate is that higher denominations lead to inflation. That is false. The fundamental causes of inflation has two dimensions, either cost push or demand pull. The inflation is defined as a situation where there's too much money chasing a limited amount of goods. In this question, the denomination doesn't change the amount of money in circulation. It only reduces the quantum of currency notes in circulation. And let me put it in very clear terms. If the total currency in circulation is 1.6 trillion naira, if you were to withdraw all of the currency in this country and substitute it with 5,000 naira notes, every Nigerian will have 1.6 notes in his pocket. That's not enough.
Okay, let me allow Wale to just come in at this point in time. Bismarck saying it's a non-issue. Do you agree? Do you seem to agree with what he's saying? It's a non-issue.
Let me put it this way. It's a non-issue for me too, but not exactly in the context in which my colleague has said. The truth of the matter is, it is not what we should be debating at this time. Rather, we should be debating those major issues that is confronting our economy at this time. Those macro issues like interest rates, like inflation, like how do we increase the supply of dollars into our economy, and the rest of them. But no matter the case, we must start from a premise and move on. The first premise is that there was a misconception, and Mr. Rwani rightly has put it into proper perspective. People thought it would be inflationary. People thought it is a disguised devaluation of the currency. And luckily for us, all the economists that have talked about this have all agreed that, look, there is no inflationary effect, and it is not a disguised devaluation. If we are finished at that point, then we move to the next point. What is the motivation for this move? It could be either that we want to manage costs, or we want to enhance the value of money as a portable commodity, or like the CBN governor said, there is a patent on the ink that we're using to print our naira, and we are being blackmailed by the contractor. These are very serious issues. And if we are being blackmailed, no CBN governor is going to sit behind and let the country be blackmailed. So it's the right thing. But if we agree that we want to reduce cost, then we need to see the numbers. Yes, the economic management team has done the right thing by saying is the right thing to do. The CBN has the power within the CBN Act to do this. But the question is, we are not seeing the numbers. Let's look at the benefits relative to the cost, and that puts us in a position to say, okay, this is the right thing to do, or whether it is the right thing to do, is it the right time?
No.
So there are two issues there. Is it the right thing? If it's the right thing, is it the right time?
The reason why this issue of non-issue is quite interesting to me, that a lot of people have been protesting about it. We've seen a couple of days, some groups have gone to say, no, that the central bank shouldn't have gone ahead to decide to print 5,000 naira notes, even change the whole currency itself, because we're going to have more coins in circulation if this move pulls through. But the impact on those out there in the marketplace is something that we should look at. Bismarck, what do you think for those in the marketplace who feel that if I hold a 5,000 naira note? I was speaking to somebody a few weeks ago when this started, and she was saying that 5,000 naira note for her may be detrimental to her business, because if that gets missing, she has lost so much.
First of all, let us go back to the responsibilities. Wale was talking about we should know the cost and all that. That's not. You see, the job of the legal tender of Nigeria is called a naira. Nobody has changed the legal tender. Within that legal tender, there are denominations. somebody is charged with the responsibility of actually managing the currency. That responsibility is that of the central bank. They don't need to come to the streets of Lagos or Abuja to say the cost of one note is this, the cost of... That is a complete waste of time. The reality is that the currency is being managed by an institution. To protect this currency and its value in terms of its exchange rate value, to protect it from counterfeiting, to making sure that there are enough denominations so that the portability of the currency, the unit of account, the store of value, that people can use money for precautionary motives, for speculative motives, and for transaction motives are all addressed. These are fundamental issues. There's a difference between oversight and meddling. When the unions and everybody starts talking about the currency and all of that, it's a waste of time. There are people who are charged with that responsibility. In any case, if you don't have 5,000 naira, you cannot even get that note.
Okay,
right. So if 5,000 naira is lost, you can also lose 10 notes of 500 naira.
But the probability is higher for a 5,000 naira note to get missing than having a bunch of 500 naira notes.
In any case, we are going cashless to start with. So very soon, you will find that people will be using their cards, their ATM cards, their point of sale terminals. So loss of money. And there's also insurance. You see, you have cash in transit, you have money, there are all sorts of things. If you are a trader and you have cash in transit insurance and you have theft insurance, if money is lost, you make a claim.
I mean, how many of us actually do all of this insurance? But
no, but you should.
We'll come back to that.
You should have.
We'll come back to that. Let me get to Wali. This issue of having to compare the introduction of the currency, the 5,000 naira note, and the whole review of the currency itself with the cashless policy. Bismarck was saying that the people are now embracing the cashless policy. But on the other side of the coin, do you see a situation where people will now be tempted to have more money in their possession because you have less of that note in your hand? And so this issue of money laundering, having to be corrupt and all that may creep in.
No, not necessarily so. And I think Bismarck put it correctly. If you believe that if you are holding the 5,000 and if it gets lost, it's going to be a material loss to you, then you can avoid it. You can stay within the denomination of 100 naira.
It was actually reported that by the economic management team that they're saying that the 5,000 naira note is not meant for everybody.
No, it's open to everybody. But people can make their determination whether they want to hold it as a store of value or not. They have that right. But what is important is that all the protestations that we are seeing, they are unnecessary because this is an issue of debate. The starting point is the CBN Act allows the CBN to do this in the first instance. So let's not take that away from them. I mean, we cannot be cherry picking when it comes to issue of law. The CBN Act allows the CBN and the presidency to do this. So to that extent, it's legal. But it is the NLC that is taking a position that I cannot seem to comprehend. Because they're saying they will ask for higher wages simply because the CBN is going to do this. I don't think that is a reason to want to say they will ask for higher wages, because they are making the Nigerian people to think the currency is being devalued. And most economists have said there is no such thing that will happen, either apparently or, in a tacit manner.
Okay.
That is by the way. Now,
let me comment, sorry. Let me ask you a simple question. If you went to a store and you had 10 notes of 500 naira and you have one note of 5,000 naira, do you buy more because of the note in your pocket or because you have 10 notes or you have one note? What determines your buying power is the amount of money you have. Whether it's in one note or 100 notes is irrelevant. 5,000 naira is 5,000 naira. You can have it in coins, you can have it in anything. What we call effective demand is when you have money in your pocket to buy the product. And so people are confusing issues, especially when when people who have no understanding and have no competence to discuss an issue are even protesting about what they don't know. You see, all you need to do is to now engage in public enlightenment and education of the masses so they know exactly, they're not misled. When the blind lead the blind.